So over the past couple of days, I've been busy writing an ebook that I'm going to be releasing soon, a completely free ebook about how to write your first or next song. And it got me thinking whilst I was writing this ebook about whether songwriting is simply like a natural talent. It's something that you either have or you haven't. It's something that you're born with, or whether it's something that can actually be learned. And even if you've never picked up an instrument, if you've never written a song before, and you have no idea how to even approach it, you don't think you've got any musical talent whatsoever. Is it actually possible to become a songwriter if you really want to? And my personal belief is that it is absolutely possible. It's just about setting your mind to it. But at the same time, it's really interesting to see that, out there, almost like as a societal thing, that people see, others being able to do things like that, things like, create art, write great music and stuff like that, is something that they're just able to do just naturally. It just comes to them, and, most people aren't able to do that. They just don't have it, in them. And at this point, I've been a musician for over 10 years, and I've been writing music for nearly 10 years. And one of the things that I know from my background is that I did not, in any sense of the word, come from a particularly musical family. My great granddad was a jazz pianist, and a really great jazz pianist. And I saw him play like a few times before he died, like when I was quite young. But the music that he played wasn't the kind of music that I necessarily wanted to play. And at the time when I was young, I didn't really think anything of it. I didn't think about wanting to pick up a guitar or play the piano, really. And also when I was younger, my mum would bring me up on a lot of music. She'd play me a lot of music. We'd very often listen to music together when I was living with her, and we wouldn't like put on the TV or put on a film or anything. We'd literally just listen to music. So, in that sense, it was really like kind of built into me, and my love for music really started to grow from that point. But it wasn't for a few years. It wasn't till I was like 11 or 12 that I decided to want to actually pick up an instrument. The first thing I started with was drums when I was about 11 years old, and I was in secondary school in the UK. And I gave up with that after 6 months, and then I picked up a guitar, decided I actually wanted to try and learn that, and that is pretty much what I stuck with. And I ended up learning that for about 5 years before going off to university. Really, when it comes to songwriting, my kind of knack for it, I suppose, really just came out of, looking at what my favourite artists would do with their music. I would get really fascinated by, how songs were put together, and, I would listen critically to, my favourite songs, essentially, and look at, how they've actually been written. And a lot of that would literally just come down to learning how to play those songs on the guitar, for example, and learning how to sing along to them and things like that. And, eventually it just kind of like started to flow out of me. And, back then I wasn't really studying songwriting, in any kind of conventional way. I wasn't like by even reading any books on it or anything like that. I was literally just listening to my favourite songs and, learning how they were written. And that's the thing, when I started writing songs, when I started recording my own music and, showing it to other people, like my family members, for example, I had people like back then saying to me that, I just must have like a natural talent. I must just, be able to do this. I was just born with this or something like that. And, I knew, like in the back of my mind, that that just wasn't true. That I had been already doing that for like quite a long time, like a few years before I was able to write, a song that was half decent, essentially. And I knew that, I didn't necessarily have a natural talent for it. I knew that I had just practiced a lot. It was literally all I would do. Like, come home from school, I'd be playing my guitar for like 4 or 5 hours. I didn't, play games consoles. I didn't like watch TV. I literally like just played and played my guitar just to get better and better at it. And eventually my songwriting kind of like chops, I suppose, like developed out of that. So I think the point I'm really trying to make here is that even if you think you can't be a songwriter, you know, if you don't come from that background, if there's no one musical in your family, and you have no idea how music is put together, really, you know, to become a great songwriter and to be able to write your own music and to be able to become really good on an instrument or whatever it might be, really just comes down to how badly you want that and how badly you want to learn it. Because if you really want to, and if you want to be able to write your own songs and for them to be really good, and for, you know, other people to want to listen to them, you know, and listen to them over and over again, and, you know, if you want to get to that point, then really it just comes down to how much do you want it and how much practice and time are you willing to put into it. I think what happens with something like this is that, you know, so many people try and overcomplicate it, or they try to find shortcuts for it. And the truth is that there really aren't any shortcuts. You know, you can learn the principles of songwriting, which is, you know, really important. You can learn how to put together a chord progression, how to, you know, like draw inspiration for lyrics and the song's meaning. But ultimately, what's going to make you a great songwriter, you know, out there in the future, is to literally just practice and to start writing music today. And this is very much what my new ebook is going to be about, which I'm going to be bringing out very soon, like probably within the next week or two. You know, it's very much a book that shows you how to actually get started on songwriting today. If you've never written a song before, or you're suffering from writer's block, this book will allow you to get out of that and to write, you know, a great song as soon as possible. And a lot of it just comes down to your state of mind. A lot of it just comes down to your mindset. And it's just really interesting when I hear people who want to become songwriters but don't believe they can. You know, that is literally just what they're telling themselves. They're just telling themselves, I can't do this, I don't have any talent, you know, it's not possible for me, I don't come from a musical family. And all you have to do is just look at me as an example. I don't have any of like that stuff. I don't believe I had any natural talent. I don't personally even really believe in natural talent. I just believe in practice and just, you know, putting the hours in and getting better at it on purpose, essentially. No one is born great at anything. So that's what I wanted to say for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please do leave a like, and if you would like to keep updated on the channel on more songwriting videos, then please do also hit the subscribe button as well. I will see you on the next one, and thanks for watching.